Hello my dear friend, this is Phil again. Welcome back to my channel. So in my previous video, I showed you how terrible things Bethesda has done to the poor Crusader. They actually removed the explosion effect completely from it and turned it to something like this. Now it's just a piss gun now. The fusion mode has absolutely no explosion damage left, and the Peril and the Cryo mode just turn this gun into a lighter. If you need a cigarette, I think this is your best companion. But if you want to barbecue some ghouls, this gun is out of the choice. But Bethesda heard the noise we made and they rolled out another patch last week. I just got a chance to log in to check whether they reversed the damage to the gun. And luckily, yes. So the fusion mode still does not have an explosion, which is actually in line with what they want to do with all energy weapons. So no explosion on any energy guns. But if you mod this gun with cryo or with peril, ta-da, this is what happens. The explosion's back. What Bethesda done is they changed this gun's ammo back to 10mm, even you mod it with the cryo or the power receiver. And the game actually decides whether it can add in explosive effect to the gun or not based on what ammo the gun uses. So now we have our explosion back on the gun. It's not a lighter anymore, but if you think the story ends here, and you want to get back to your bed to call it a night, it's not that simple. Bethesda did remove the explosion from the fusion receiver. The explosion damage they kept on the Peril or the Cryo receiver actually make these two receivers essential if you want to use this gun. And let me quickly show you how different a 34 cryo damage you just added in by modding this gun can make a whole lot of difference in terms of damage. And we're gonna have to use our green friend for the experiment. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use two exactly the same two-shot explosion Crusader, one with a cryo receiver, one with a standard receiver. I will compare them on exactly the same mutant. To avoid any BIOS results, let me make sure I removed my tenderizer, so the consequent hits on the same target will not have the BIOS foundation. And I make sure I equipped 5-star demolition expert, because that's one of the reasons with the cryo or power receiver, the Crusader become much more powerful. It gives 60% additional damage to the crowd receiver. Here we go, we got a level 60 volunteer. Let's use the non-modded two-shot explosion first. Now here is the damage number, 243, which is the ballistic damage, and 211. You only see 111 here because they are totally overlapped. There are four figures in this picture. We have 243 from ballistic damage and 211 from the explosion. Now let's quickly switch to the cryo modded version of this same gun. Now we'll see here is another four figure, 288, which is the explosion damage, and 260s, that is the projectile direct damage, including both cryo and ballistic. And this 888 times 2 damage, including the explosive damage from both ballistic and cryo as well. After a quick mathematical calculation, I found out with the cryo receiver, we have almost 300 damage per shot to this poor level 60 greenie, and with the normal version we only did 108 points of damage, which makes the cryo modded version of this gun almost triple stronger than the standard version. I'm so surprised that a cryo receiver, which only gives you 34 points of damage in addition to the ballistic one, it makes this gun triple stronger. I spent quite a few time to try to figure out why it's actually causing so much difference by a single mode. I even went to the most famous mathematic genius inside the Fallout 76 community, the well-known Mapex, and he gave me a detailed breakdown of the calculation on the damage of the crowd version of this gun. But after a whole evening of research, On his description, I just burned my inside the brain without any progress. I never thought playing a game I will need a PhD degree on math. So if you're interested in how exactly the calculation has been done, then here is a screenshot I got from Apex. You're more than welcome to spend a week or two to study this amazing piece of calculations. But if you're not that into mathematics, then I can give you a general idea why this cryo or the power mode is so strong on this gun. So in addition to the boost of Demolition Expert, there are two main reasons which make this gun so powerful. The first one is the two-shot legendary effect, which basically give this gun additional 25% base damage, is giving the Paro or the cryo damage a 25% multiplicative boost instead of additive boost, and combine that with the 60% base damage boost from the Demolition Expert, the cryo damage on this gun is already crazy by itself. And the second reason, which is the most amazing reason for me, is the explosion actually happens on peril and cryo damage is actually sharing the same way that the game calculates the explosion damage on the legacy energy weapons. And that's one of the reasons Bethesda was trying to remove the explosion completely from this gun, which means the two splits of the explosion from the peril damage are causing 100% on each of the splits. A very simple example, let's say without the two-shot legendary effect, the peril damage on this gun do 50 points of damage, and with the two-shot legendary effect kicks in, instead of doing 25% multiplicative explosion damage, it does 200% multiplicative damage on the cryo explosion themselves. And the whole calculation is so twisted. That makes the damage calculation on this gun so complex that no one can really understand it, apparently, except Mapex. So let's do a quick sum up. Crusader is resurrected by Bethesda on the current PTS. Fusion Receiver doesn't do any additional explosion damage. Cryo and Peril Receiver still does explosive damage. If you want to use this gun, you better find yourself a two-shot explosive version and mold it with cryo or peril receivers to gain a 300% damage boost. Alright, that's everything for today. If you find this video informative, please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. But until next time, Fearless out.